Good afternoon, everyone. Today is September 30th, 2025. The time is 3:26 p.m. I call the Board of Estimate and Contracts regularly scheduled meeting into order.
And do the roll call.
Yes.
Comptroller Morton.
Present.
Thank you. Council President Brown.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Patterson Howard.
Here.
Under resolutions approving ordinances, number one, Department of Buildings, an ordinance to amend legislation regarding building safety inspections currently conducted by the city's third-party consultant.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Comptroller Morton.
Aye.
Council President Brown.
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number two, assessor, an ordinance authorizing the amendment of ordinance number 16 adopted by the city council on September 10, 2025, entitled an ordinance authorizing the refund of taxes paid on an incorrectly assessed property pursuant to RPTL Section 550 Hudson Greenwich LLC, 545 South Fulton Avenue, 169.40-4088-8.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Comptroller Morton.
Aye.
Council President Brown.
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number three, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a non-binding memorandum of understanding with the Center for Economic and Environmental Partnership, Inc., CEEP.
So moved.
Second.
The question? Hearing none. Roll call.
Comptroller Morton.
Aye.
Council President Brown.
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Four, Office of the City Clerk, an ordinance authorizing three Office of the City Clerk staff members to attend OpenGov permitting and licensing user group in Huntington, New York on October 1st, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
So it's just for the clerk staff?
Yes.
Okay. And wait, this is the one on Long Island?
Yes.
Were the other ones passed on your last meeting?
Yes, they are separate numbers.
Yeah. Last meeting, other people were passed it to.
No, it's in this agenda, the other department.
Oh.
Separate letter.
Was there a way that we could take all of those together? Because they're all the same training, different departments. Is there a way to, what numbers are those?
So if all of, so, yeah, so here's my question, kind of thing that I've been trying to kind of coordinate around this, right? Because there's been some discussion around whether this is actually a training or whether this is actually just a think tank group on this. And if there's a real benefit to all of the people going. Right? As opposed to representatively, the people who've been actively using it, like the clerk's office who's actively using it. So I don't know who's on the other list, who's part of the other list.
finance.
Fire.
Finance, fire,
Oh, finance.
and buildings.
I mean, planning, sorry.
And fire and building. So the only one on here that doesn't use it currently is planning. Fire and buildings are currently using permanent license.
And how many people are we talking about totally? And then are we consolidating how to travel on this?
So for the clerk's office, they're carpooling. I don't know about the other, we're taking one vehicle,
Individual. Okay.
but I don't know about the other departments.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, just so long as we just kind
I
of,
think most of the groups are carpooling, and depending on what time it is, we could always send a bus out there, but, people are coming from different places also, so if the training is out there at like 8 in the morning or something.
They would have to leave at 5:30.
yeah, it's early in the morning.
It's 7:30 it starts.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're leaving here at 5:30.
And what number is the other one? Oh,
9
9,
and 10.
So 4, 9, and 10?
Yes.
9 and 10 don't have any amounts on them.
People from fire and 3 people from building. Plan. Uh, 3 people from planning.
Wait a minute, there's 5. You said,
Yeah,
Fire and buildings are number 10. They're together.
totally, how many people are going? 3 from her?
Yes.
11.
The carpooling kind of to consolidate the cost though. And then what, there's no registration fee for this? It's
It's
just
free.
travel?
It's travel.
Just travel fee?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there might be, we wrote in meals. I don't know what's gonna happen up there.
Get lunch.
Hey,
All right.
hey,
Well, as long as
can
we
we
just-
take them together?
Well, we already started the motions. You can take the other 2 together.
Okay. So roll call?
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Brown. Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 5, Department of Public Safety and Ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a memorandum of understanding between Westchester County and the city of Mount Vernon to participate in the mutual aid and rapid response plan for the police departments of Westchester County, New York, from July 31st, 2025 to July 30th, 2030.
so moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call?
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Brown, Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
6, Department of Management Services, an ordinance authorizing approval for the mayor to enter into a 1-year support contract with SHI for Broadcom VMware support.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call?
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Brown,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
7, Department of Public Works and Ordinance authorizing a 2-year agreement with the County Excavating LLC for various public works, construction equipment rentals with a 1-year renewal option.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Okay, so. We're renting equipment we call.
This is equipment that we don't need every day. It's as needed, project based.
And what's the cost?
Explained to me by, John and Devani. They don't have a cost currently because they entered into this agreement so that when they do need to rent the equipment, they wouldn't have to wait to do bid and, RFP to get into the rental. So they made an agreement with this company so that when the time does come that they need to rent the equipment, they'll be able to go and get a cost and quote, bring it to us and, identify the funding source based on the project to do the rental.
We're not leasing the equipment or purchasing the equipment. It's for us to be able to rent as needed.
So wouldn't this be just the open PO?
You know, yeah. Because I don't believe the cost exceeds the
Well,
bid
I
threshold.
guess the question would be is, did we include a provision for open PO in our procurement?
Right for an update.
Annual.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, what they would be doing is expending within the means of their allocated budget,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
On it.
But it could, when you combine the costs, if they have to do something, rent equipment in January, something in March, something in June,
Right.
by the end of the year, it can come to a procurement amount. And so this way, we've already done the procurement.
And also some of the funding could be grant funded if the equipment is tied to a grant funded project.
Like sewers.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. I think we just need to explore this a little bit more.
And I think part of this is also that we're gaining capacity to do some things in-house. We just don't have the equipment to do it in-house. Right? So, being able to break up the ground, this is excavate equipment. So being able to break up the ground to do some things doesn't always require a Zonzini for everything. So, but we don't have the equipment to do it. So one of the things that we've been trying to do, is build capacity within the city through staff training and development so that some of these repairs or emergency repairs or scheduled repairs that are not huge that we could take on inside. So this will allow us to do some of that as well. At least just for the equipment.
My only thing is that when we start talking about contract
Okay.
with no parameter or amount, it concerns me. So I think that we need to probably explore this thing around open PO, what that process means, right, going forward. On it. Is this something that we needed, that absolutely needed to be done here today, or can we bring this back for the next meeting to I just want to explore that to make sure. I just don't want us entering into a contract that has no,
No guidelines.
No parameter.
right?
And I don't think they're renting the equipment now, or I don't think there's a need for it, not that I know of. The need to rent any equipment right now. We're just trying to get ahead of.
Okay, so can we hold this for the next,
That's fine. Mhm.
and then, we'll look into this stuff, so we know, okay.
Okay. Next agenda item?
Number 8, Department of Recreation and ordinance authorizing the Department of Recreation to sponsor the annual Pumpkin Fest and Carving event at Hartley Park and directing support from other city departments.
So move.
Second,
On the question? Hearing none, roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
aye,
Council President Brown,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howe.
Aye.
Take these through as a-
9 and 10?
move to take 9 and 10 as a block vote.
Second.
Roll call?
This is to take items 9 and 10 as a block vote. Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Brown,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 9, Department of Planning and Community Development and ordinance authorizing the Department of Planning and Community Development staff to attend the Open Gov Permitting and Licensing User Group event, Huntington, New York, on October 1st, 2025. Number 10, Office of the Mayor, an ordinance authorizing city staff to attend the Open Gov Long Island Permitting and Licensing User Group event and approving reimbursement of travel expenses.
So move.
Second,
On the question? Hearing none, roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
aye,
Council President Brown,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
11, Water Department, an ordinance authorizing attendance to the Project Wet Facilitator Training.
So move.
second,
On the question? Hearing none, roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
aye,
Council President Brown,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
So the Department of Public Works requests to make partial payment. Number 12, Department of Public Works, a resolution authorizing partial payment. Number 2, to Navista Designs General Contractors LLC for emergency repairs to the roofing at the police department and courts.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Brown, Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Under settlements, number 13, settlement of lawsuit for personal injury, Eduardo Baega versus the city of Mount Vernon, $390,000.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Just note that, 350 of this is, right, coming from us.
Correct.
That's our threshold. Safety issues, we don't have to hone in on. Sure, so we can try to minimize our exposure.
Roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Brown,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
14, Department of Public Works request to pay EPA settlement for underground storage tank at 50 West Third Street Fire.
So is this actually a settlement?
Yes.
$5,700.
So moved.
Second.
Question? Hearing none? Roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Brown,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
That concludes you.
For new business. For new business, I have received, the requests from each of the departments in the city, for 2026. And my office will be reviewing them and bringing them back, before this board. We will, we'll be going through and reviewing revenues and expense projections and bringing them back to this board to move it forward in the budgeting process over the next few weeks. I will be drilling down into each line, to justify, to make adjustments. And then we'll bring it back to present, to this board to move it forward for hearings so that we can stay in compliance with our budgeting timeline. This is already, 2 weeks? I think it was due on the 15th of September. So it's about 2 weeks late. But we will bring it back before this body, I believe, before October 15th, as required.
So that we clear about what the process is, right?
Mhm.
So then the very next thing is that today is the 30th.
Mhm.
So after today, then we will, my office will look at the delinquent tax cash reserves, right? Which is supposed to be done and according to the charter is to be given by the 15th. So that it can be considered into whatever is going to be that final, that proposed amount that's going to come when you do come back to
Yeah,
that, right?
estimate.
So right now, basically whatever that is that has come in from estimates from the departments is being worked on, right? And looked at to come back for something else. In addition to that, also part around the cash reserve from delinquent, which typically has not been much it has not been anything in the last few years, because of where we are, would also be considered as a part of that, to then be presented and then to follow the schedule to call for it here.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure we lay out.
And
So
all of that has to be done by what, November 23rd?
We have to call for a public hearing,
by October 15th, I think.
yeah, to be scheduled.
To be scheduled before November 20th.
On the 23rd.
Okay. All right,
All right. Got it.
that's it. Any other new business?
Well, yeah, update, just so that this board is aware, two of us are aware because we're part of the other one. But, I guess for the third person in this board. So the real estate committee did meet on Friday, first phase of looking at the properties that we have that are not for municipal use. As you remember, we had already put out for the process of bidding on those properties. They had a select list. We got through all of the legal and the law changes and all of that stuff to finally get to a place where we started with phase one. And phase one included several properties in which we looked at based upon the criteria in which we had set out for the bidding process in accordance with the city charter. As a result of that, there are some of those properties that actually just was recommended to actually go out for a auction in which we're looking at a date to set a date for the auction on the properties that were not recommended to go to the council for sale. So that will be coming out shortly. But there were 7 properties that actually received a recommendation from the real estate committee to go to the city council for them to consider for selling and transferring of deeds. Recognizing that if any of the properties that are sold by the city through this process, or even through the auction, when the auction comes, is as is, and subject to the purchaser having to deal with any of the title issues that may be around those. Let's be clear that all of these properties, any property we have in inventory has been in inventory of the city for at least 11 years. All right. And because we have not foreclosed on any properties in over a decade on that. So at least we have some advanced movement in this process. The next phase of that is going to be one for the city council to make decision. 2 is going to be for us then to hold a public auction for the remaining properties that we have that are not going to be part of either one for municipal use, or 2 that are not being held for a particular project or something that the city has said that might be a benefit to the city. So that has really kind of been the process. When we look at the auction is also going to include any of those parcels that we may have that also are like vacant lots and things of that sort. Because here's the thing, what we want to do is to get all of these properties out of the inventory of the city, because the city is not in the business of managing properties, right? So that's going to be the goal. So I just want to make sure that we let this body know, because it does affect eventually, once the council makes this decision on those properties that's going to go to them, it will then come here for final decision on sale. Any questions? Oh, the other thing. So, see, we got a lot of moving parts. We've had 2 tax lien sales, one in June and one last week. The one in June, I think yielded somewhere around about $600,000. The one for last week, if fully executed and completed, right, should yield somewhere around 1.5, 1.6 million. That will help us to pay, some of the, liabilities that we had. Principally, those things that are also related to school taxes. In addition, any of those properties for either one of those lists that did not sell, they have been advanced to in-rem foreclosure process. So we've already started with the ones from June, right, that are already in the process. The lawyers are dealing with it. They're doing the title searches and all of that. They're going to start the process. Once we finalize that list, that will then also come, be presented to the council. So the council is aware of that. We'll have to also make public notice on what those are. And then now the ones from this week or last week, we will then also move in that same vein, in that same process. The third and the final tax lien sale for this year related to the 2024-25 tax liens will be in December. And it will follow the same pattern. That's it.
Thank you. Do we have motion for adjournment?
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Do you have that?
Aye.
Council President Brown,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye, meeting is adjourned.